Beautiful day, loves. All right, let's get into it today. I have an herb for you. And yes, I'm covering up the label because I'm not promoting any specific or giving my vendors. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? Huge bag, huge bundle. So, what are we talking about today? Today, we are talking about the beautiful Blue Lotus flower. Okay? So let me ask you this question. Have you ever gone to bed exhausted and found that your mind absolutely refused to rest? Me. Okay? That loop of thoughts, that restlessness, the wired but tired feeling that so many of us know all too well, especially if you are in perimenopause or in menopause. The ancient Egyptians had a remedy for just that. They called it the sacred blue flower. They used it in rituals, in medicine, and in ceremony. They understood something about this plant that modern herbalists are still working to fully articulate. Okay? We still don't understand everything that this flower can do. Today I'm introducing you to Blue Lotus, one of the most beautiful and ancient plants in our toolkit, and one that may be exactly what your nervous system has been waiting on. So, Blue Lotus is also Nymphaea cerealia. It's an aquatic flowering plant native to ancient Egypt and parts of East Africa and Asia. It has one of the longest documented histories of use of any of the herbal plants. It dates back to over 3,000 years. In ancient Egypt, Blue Lotus was sacred. It was depicted in hieroglyphics, on temple walls, offered to deities. It was used in ritual ceremonies, used and associated with the sun and with creation, with the opening of consciousness. So they used it in a myriad of different ways. It was also used medicinally for anxiety, sleep, pain relief, and for what some might call today nervous system regulation and support. Okay? The active compounds in Blue Lotus include luciferine and aporphine, alkaloids that interact with dopamine receptors in the brain and produce gentle, calming effects without sedation or dependency of pharmaceutical options. So basically, you are not prone to become addicted to this plant medicine. Most plant medicines, you won't become addicted to them. Okay. And I say that with a side note, you have an addictive personality. If you're replacing one habit with another, that's a different conversation. Okay? Here is what the Blue Lotus does in the body. So let's get into it. Anxiety and nervous system calm. Blue Lotus produces a gentle calming effect in its action on the dopamine receptors in the brain. It reduces anxiety without the heaviness or cognitive impairment of sedatives. Okay? So you're not going to feel drowsy. That's not what this does. It produces a calmness. You feel present and calm, but not foggy. Sleep support. Blue Lotus supports the transition into sleep by calming the nervous system and reducing the mental activity that keeps so many of us awake at night. It is particularly valuable for the racing mind. Okay, that is something, if you know what that is like, and I know you do, if you are at the hormonal state of perimenopause or menopause, you have a racing mind, or even if you're just under a lot of stress, that racing mind is real. Okay, and again, I'm speaking specifically to that community, but um, anyone can use this particular herb. Okay, you don't have to be a woman experiencing menopause or perimenopause. Of course, there are contraindications to any herb that you may want to use or experience. So let's see. It's particularly valuable to the racing mind that accompanies perimenopause and menopause. So it has a mild euphoria and mood elevation effect. Okay? Blue Lotus produces a gentle sense of emotional ease and well-being, not intoxication or elevation. A sense that things are okay. You're going to be okay. For women in midlife carrying enormous loads, professionally, personally, emotionally, that gentleness is not trivial. It is medicine. And then for pain relief, Blue Lotus has mild analgesic properties for women dealing with the aches, the joint aches that comes and physical discomforts that accompany midlife. This is an additional layer of support. Okay? So talking specifically and directly to why Blue Lotus matters, the sleep disruption, the anxiety, the restlessness, the emotional intensity, these are all rooted in nervous system changes that happen when your estrogen declines. Okay? There are now probably about 5 videos up where I talk about the nervous system. Estrogen has a calming, stabilizing effect on the nervous system. When it fluctuates and ultimately declines, the nervous system becomes more reactive, more easily startled, more prone to anxiety, and less able to settle into deep rest. Blue Lotus works directly on the nervous system. Okay? So remember I talked about the synergy in the herbs and the blends, how things work together to bring balance into the body. So if pain support, then it's going to work to do that. If you need sleep or rest or calm and ease, then it will work to do that. And remember I said the herbs need to get into your system, and of course all depends on where you already are. Where's your starting point? How heavy are you starting? Are you already on heavy medications? Have you been using medications for 20 plus years? What else is going on in the body? Are you using caffeine, that comes from coffee? Are you coming off of smoking? We just talked about smoking cessation with the Breathe Again protocol. Okay? So it does not replace estrogen, nothing does, but it provides a layer of gentle nervous system support that can make transition significantly more manageable. Ancient healers don't have the language of hormones, but they do have the wisdom of plants. And they reached for Blue Lotus for exactly the experiences we are describing today. It's ancestral knowledge worth honoring. Okay? A few ways to use Blue Lotus. You can steep Blue Lotus as a tea, 5 to 10 minutes. It's mild and it has a slightly floral taste. It's best in the evening before bed. And remember when I said about the Damiana, spoke about the Damiana herb. When you're using florals or very gentle flowering herbs, you need to be careful. You do not need to boil your water. You will kill the constituents, the beneficial constituents in the plant. So you need them to be very hot or warming. Let them steep. Make sure that you cover them so that you're getting the oils and the agents and all of that contained in your cup of tea as it steeps. Okay? So in our deep sleep wellness lolly, Damiana is present. Blue Lotus is present. I'm sorry. Blue Lotus is present in that formulation. It gives you the sublingual delivery, right? Sublingual being under the tongue or in the mouth. It is a therapeutic botanical ritual before bed that is both pleasurable and healing. Okay, so we talked about, here's the 2-inch deep sleep lolly. See that? Okay. So it's present there, and of course in the 1-inch lollies as well. It is also available in the smokable herb blend, and the smokable herb blend comes in these green packs. This one is the nervous system blend, but the other one for sleep is available on our website. Okay, so it is available in a couple of our blends. And one important note is Blue Lotus is generally well tolerated. But if you take medicines or any type of medications, especially for anxiety, depression, or sleep, please consult your healthcare provider before adding them. As always, know your body, work with a qualified herbalist. So, 3 things. The Deep Sleep Wellness Lolly and our smokable herb blends featuring Blue Lotus are listed below. Okay? Subscribe. Our Herbal Spotlight series is one of the most educational things happening on this channel. You do not want to miss anything. So make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and then drop a comment. Have you ever experienced Blue Lotus? I want to know. Let me know. So remember, right, what happens? What looks good? It looks good to what feel good. So love you. I am Chantel with Love You Studios Holistic Wellness Center. Until next time, thank you so much for joining me.